Sorry, I'm coming to that though. So Linux runs on 78% of most of the supercomputers in the world. Like if there were 100 supercomputers in the world, 78 of them run on Linux. And as well, Linux is the kernel that Android was developed from. To proceed, a number of software industry, database industry, they use they have loads, like my group members have said, there are loads of software, open source software in various industries, in database, in image creation, in office suites, operating system, software development, web browsers, web design, and so on and so forth. In the real world, we have Brazil. Brazil is actually a government that's very open source software, user friendly. Most of the government departments, parastatals, they run on open source software. In Germany as well, the city of Munich in Germany is one of the biggest municipalities that their public sector runs on open source software. As well as others, we got Italy in Rome.
Come on, guys, please.
Ecuador, Venezuela, all these nations, they've implemented open source software to some extent. Just so you know, the free open source software does not necessarily mean free of cost.
Oh, it is so good that you mentioned that, because that was going to be one of my questions actually.
Splendid. Maybe as one of my group members might have mentioned, the free is not free of charge. Like basically what the freedom means there is free of use, free of modification, free to share. You could get the source code, you could redistribute it, you could do whatever you want with it so far as you attribute the author of that software. Also, open source is not freeware. Open source, like we said, is the type of software that you can change, you can do whatever you want with it. But freeware, on the other hand, you can't actually change the source code. You can't modify it. You can't change it. You can't share it. If you do, you'll be violating some licenses that the freeware was published with. Also, the principle of net neutrality, which ensures that every user, regardless of the user's creed, regardless of the user's socio-economic standing, whatever it is, everyone has equal access to the internet. Whether you're from Britain, whether you're from Bamford, wherever you're from, you just have equal access to the internet, equal access to post content onto the internet and all of that. Also, how open source software makes money. Open source software is actually viable in today's business environment, whether in business, whether in commercial use, whether in domestic use. We as computing students, by and by, we might get to the point where we might become software developers. We can make money if we become part of the open source movement. And independent developers could make money they could charge for training, they could charge for installation of software, they could charge for technical support. Also, the developers could get paid directly when, assuming someone asks you to come develop software for him, you could get paid that way. Also, free will donation. Up until August 2011, Google is the biggest sponsor of Mozilla Firefox. So up till August 2011, Google is supporting Mozilla Firefox, this baby right here, and they doing that until August of 2011. Also, Wikipedia, there was a time that Wikipedia was asking for donations. Somebody first saw that banner on Wikipedia. Just one person. Anyway, so Wikipedia, we know, is open source, and one of the ways open source software makes money is by free will donation. And in conclusion, I'm going to say, if there's any way you are going to support open source software, please do so. You could donate, like I donated £1.50p to Wikipedia when they were asking for donations. I want you to do the same. And yeah, thank you. And also, I'm coming to that. Also, you could give your time. You could test products. You could review. You could give reviews. If there are software that out there that are not popular, you could give reviews to those software. That way you'll be supporting open source software. Finally, these are some references. Like my group member said, if there's any question you'd like, or if you like this slide, just contact us and we'll be more than delighted to share with you. So if there's any question from anybody, intelligent questions, please. If there's an intelligent question from anyone, please, we'll be delighted to take your question.
It is important what you said. Open source doesn't mean free. For an enterprises, it works in a very different way, isn't it? If an enterprise wants to have one of these open source applications, what do they need to do? In an enterprise.
Yes, what open source software.
Did you just start using it just like that?
The enterprise will get the review.